Previously in the Riilo Racing League, in round 1 at Catalunya, Barcelona, Keith the Hoff Denton in his white Ferrari decided he wasn't interested in that first chicane during our formation lap, so chose to ignore it altogether. Meanwhile, in pole position we had Darren Rayfield with Marcus Neal second and Darren Hunter third. Rayfield got a fantastic start from the lights, as did Darren Hunter, who chased Neal down all the way to the first corner. Sweeping into the tight right-hander at the end of the pit straight, Rayfield's got a comfortable lead ahead of Neal and Hunter, who managed to squeeze out Jamie Swan to hold on to that third position. At the end of that first lap, Swan from fourth decides to take the first of his mandatory pit stops to get himself out of the traffic. Further down the field, Keith the Hoff Denton is putting pressure on Martin Bjorkvik, who makes a slight mistake, and Hoff manages to take that position. Having established a very healthy 9-second lead at the front of the field, Darren Rayfield comes into the pits for his first stop. This leaves Marcus Neal with a chance to take over the lead, even if only temporarily. A little further back down the road, Martin Propp has a real battle on his hands trying to keep Darren Hunter at bay as they both approach Tor Arne Martinussen for fourth position. And having been overtaken by both Martin and Darren, Tor decides to try a little shortcut through the middle of a hill and a wall. So as Tor tries to cheat his way up the field, Peter Robinson's holding a very solid 8th position as Darren Rayfield, recovering from a pit stop, chases down Marcus Neal, who's still in the lead. We're now well into the second half of the race, and Rink the Ninja Visser is pressurising the prop monster.
Bloody track.
Oh, I know. You do hundreds of laps each time these challenges come around, don't you?
I'm trying to learn the tracks, so it's all new to me, isn't it? I'm still learning the cars, the tracks, how they work together and everything.
Oh, yeah, no, it's definitely the best thing to do, but I know what you mean. You get sick of the sight of it, you just want to change the scenery.
No, ZANDVOORT is particularly hard on the wrists.
Yeah, and hard to get. Don't you find it really hard to get one decent lap after another decent lap? It's either you do one and then you just screw up the next one. It's really on and off.
Yeah. Sorry, Martin?
It's a home game for me tonight.
Yeah, home advantage. No excuses tonight, Martin.
I got all the Max Verstappen fans cheering for me.
Yeah, orange corner on every bend.
Dutch corner, yeah.
Ah, my video's ended early. I knew that would happen. There's a problem with my my bloody Stream Deck doing the timings. So it was supposed to play that video all the way to the end.
Or is it me?
Hello, everyone. Anyway, I say everyone. Darren. Yo, Darren. How you doing, man? Let me just. No server still. No, I still can't see the server. Right, 2 minutes past 9. Right, well, apologies that intro was cut a bit short. Do you know what? How long have we got? We've got time. I'm going to play it again. Right, so ignore the fact that I'm on at the moment. Just pretend that didn't happen. And I'm going to mute my microphone.
Previously in the Riilo Racing League, in round 1 at Catalunya, Barcelona, Keith the Hoff Denton in his white Ferrari decided he wasn't interested in that first chicane during our formation lap, so chose to ignore it altogether. Meanwhile, in pole position we had Darren Rayfield with Marcus Neal second and Darren Hunter third. Rayfield got a fantastic start from the lights, as did Darren Hunter, who chased Neal down all the way to the first corner. Sweeping into the tight right-hander at the end of the pit straight, Rayfield's got a comfortable lead ahead of Neal and Hunter, who managed to squeeze out Jamie Swan to hold on to that third position. At the end of that first lap, Swan from fourth decides to take the first of his mandatory pit stops to get himself out of the traffic. Further down the field, Keith the Hoff Denton is putting pressure on Martin Bjorkvik, who makes a slight mistake, and Hoff manages to take that position. Having established a very healthy 9-second lead at the front of the field, Darren Rayfield comes into the pits for his first stop. This leaves Marcus Neal with a chance to take over the lead, even if only temporarily. A little further back down the road, Martin Propp has a real battle on his hands trying to keep Darren Hunter at bay as they both approach Tor Arne Martinussen for 4th position. And having been overtaken by both Martin and Darren, Tor decides to try a little shortcut through the middle of a hill and a wall. So as Tor tries to cheat his way up the field, Peter Robinson's holding a very solid 8th position as Darren Rayfield, recovering from a pit stop, chases down Marcus Neal, who's still in the lead. We're now well into the second half of the race, and Rink the Ninja Visser is pressurising the prop monster, who has run wide at the chicane, and Rink takes the position. Martin looks to be struggling with traction, but he hasn't changed tyres all race, which would explain that. So Rink up to 4th and having a very solid race. Up at the front, Darren Rayfield is closing fast on Marcus Neal in the lead, but decides to do the second of his mandatory pit stops and put some fresh boots on. This promotes Jamie Swan back up into 2nd position, but I think his wife is about to start watching Netflix because there he's vanished. He's lost his connection and he is out of the race, at least temporarily. At the end of lap 22, Marcus Neal takes his 2nd pit stop whilst leading the race. This allows Darren Rayfield to come through and reclaim that 1st position. However, whilst leading the race, Darren Rayfield comes up to lap Peter Robinson, who looked like he was recovering from an off-track incident and a 2-touch, sending Peter Robinson into the wall. Darren looks like he got away with little or no damage, but decides to pit at the end of that lap anyway to take on some fresh rubber and hands the lead back to Marcus Neal. Back out in front, and with just a few laps of the race remaining, Marcus Neal takes his final pit stop, deciding not to replace tyres and just add enough fuel to see him to the checkered flag, hopefully rejoining the circuit ahead of Darren Rayfield, who in 2nd place is lapping on new tyres at about 1.5 seconds faster per lap. The strategy worked and Neal retained his lead on track. However, Darren Rayfield was closing at such a rate that on the final lap, as they approach the checkered flag, the two finish with less than a second between them for 1st and 2nd position. So the full results: Marcus Neal takes 1st, Darren Rayfield in 2nd, and Martin Propp rounding off the podium with a brilliant tactical display, having not changed tyres for the entire race. 4th place goes to Darren Hunter, followed by Rink Visser and Jamie Swan, who recovered from his disconnection. Next up, Keith Denton in 7th, Peter Robinson 8th, Tor Arne Martinussen in 9th, and Martin Bjorkvik rounding off in 10th. For round 2, we head to a very sunny Brands Hatch in Kent, and thanks to the reverse grid system, we have Martin Bjorkvik in the blue and yellow Ferrari in pole position. However, this didn't seem to be enough for Martin, who proceeded to speed in the start procedure and build himself a 50-metre lead before the race had even started, for which he would eventually be penalised. However, he takes that lead down Paddock Hill Bend and up towards Druids. From the middle of the pack, Jamie Swan made a fantastic start and has moved himself up to 2nd position. As Martin runs wide, Jamie Swan, Rink Visser and Darren Hunter managed to squeeze through on the inside to take the position. Martin then is exposed to Marcus Neal behind, who has much better exit from the previous bend and gets the job done on the straight, leading into the 2 fast right-handers and chasing after Darren, Rink and Jamie. Coming into the 2nd fast right-hander, however, boom, He gets Bjorkvik in the backside. Tor also is hit and had nowhere to go. The two of them managed to rejoin the track, but Martin, sideswipes Peter Robinson and takes himself off the circuit with significant damage. Having avoided that incident, Jamie Swan, Rink Visser and Darren Hunter continue to race off into the distance. A tight battle developing with all three cars separated by just fractions of a second. That is until Visser the Ninja decided the grass needed a bit of a trim on the outside, lost control, speed across the track, hitting the barrier on the other side, causing slight damage to the car and leaving a large gap between himself and first and second place ahead of him. A little further down the field we have Denton in 4th, Tor in 5th and a very fast chasing Darren Rayfield in 6th, who starts really applying pressure to Tor as they come down the back straight. The pressure eventually pays off as Tor runs wide in the fast right-hander, kicking up some dirt and gravel, and Darren Rayfield manages to get his man and go in hot pursuit of Keith Denton in 4th position. Following another round of pit stops, and Keith Denton finds himself in 2nd position, being hounded by Darren Hunter in 3rd. A battle that would rage for quite a number of laps and soon to be joined by flying Darren Rayfield. Darren Rayfield wastes no time at all, sweeping around the outside of Darren Hunter at Paddock Hill Bend and following closely Keith Denton up into Druids. Denton runs slightly wide, giving Darren Rayfield much better momentum coming down the hill, and he's able to slingshot on the inside, get the job done. That's P2 for Darren Rayfield. Meanwhile, Darren Hunter finally gets his chance to pass Keith Denton to claim P3. From the head of the race, Jamie Swan in 1st dives into the pit lane to serve one of his mandatory pit stops, and with a very fast approaching Darren Rayfield, the race is on for Jamie to get his stop done and get back out on track, retaining his lead. Which he managed to do, just a few corners later, and on cold tyres, Jamie runs slightly wide, leaving the door open for Darren to sneak through and take the lead of the race. There was no way Jamie was going to give that up easily though, and the two of them went door to door all the way down the following straight, but just before the right-hander, Darren manages to force a full car's length ahead of Jamie and secure that position. On lap 22, and with Jamie Swan still right behind him, Darren Rayfield from the lead decides to do the second of his 3 mandatory pit stops, handing the lead back to Jamie Swan. 6 laps later, and Darren Rayfield would come into the pits again to serve the final of his mandatory pit stops, only to be met by an unexpected obstacle in the form of Peter Robinson in the pit lane, going very slowly, looking around, admiring the view, and eventually parking in the pit lane for reasons unknown. This delay would allow Darren Hunter and Marcus Neal to pass Darren Rayfield into P2 and 3 respectively. And that is where they will finish, as Jamie Swan comes around the final bend to take a fantastic victory, followed by Darren Hunter in 2nd place and Marcus Neal just hanging on to 3rd, with a freshly tired, very fast Darren Rayfield closing in with every lap. So the results from round 2 at Brands Hatch: Jamie Swan with another brilliant victory, followed by Darren Hunter, superb 2nd place. Marcus Neal recovers from the early crash to claim 3rd, with Darren Rayfield incredibly close behind, and one more lap longer and probably would have taken that position. Next up we have Keith Denton, followed by Tor Arne Martinussen, Rink the Ninja Visser, Martin Bjorkvik, Creepy Pete Peter Robinson and Mike Bergeron. We are at the Hungaroring for round 3, and again with the reverse grid and success ballast applied, we have Mike Bergeron in pole with Peter Robinson in 2nd in the Golf liveried Audi. Mike gets a good start, but not as good as Martin Bjorkvik in the blue and yellow Ferrari, who leaps into the lead as they come down to the first right-hand hairpin. Halfway through lap 1, and Mike Bergeron still in the lead, but he runs wide at the chicane, giving Darren Hunter the perfect opportunity to attack. The two of them go door to door, Mike not giving an inch. Darren backs off to allow Mike to take the corner, but Mike will then run wide at the next bend, sweeping back across the track. Darren Hunter now under immense pressure from Darren Rayfield as the three of them come up to the right-hand bend. Darren Hunter turns in, spins Mike Bergeron, which also holds up Darren Rayfield, allowing Marcus Neal up into second position. With pressure from behind, Darren Hunter in the lead takes too much curb, sending the back round, causing a collision with the barrier, leaving Marcus Neal to take first position and Darren with significant damage to his car. With Darren Hunter having to stop for repairs, Martin Propp is promoted to third and Jamie Swan up to fourth. Peter Robinson in the Audi is promoted to fifth position and finds himself under increasing pressure from new to the league racer Ricky Mack in the Lexus. At the front, Darren Rayfield continues to pressurise Marcus Neal, who's in the lead, and decides to take one of his mandatory pit stops, releasing Darren Rayfield to the front of the race. Meanwhile, in the battle for ninth position, Keith Denton and Martin Bjorkvik are nose to tail as they come into the final corner. Martin loses it on the exit of the bend, hits the inside wall, spears across, tags Keith, who thankfully gets away with just minor damage. The same could not be said for Martin Bjorkvik. On to lap 13 and we see a pivotal moment for Marcus Neal, currently running third, but here he receives his fourth and final telling off for abusing track limits and receives a drive-through penalty which effectively takes him out of contention for the race win. Having served his drive-through penalty and another round of pit stops where Marcus Neal did not select to take on new tyres, he manages to rejoin the circuit just ahead of Darren Rayfield, but with shiny new rubber, Darren is significantly faster and really applying the pressure. It's only a matter of time before Darren regains second place behind Jamie Swan. As both drivers come round onto the main straight, they are chasing down Keith Denton to lap him just further up the road. Darren Rayfield looks to have significant drive off the bend, drifts past the Ferrari, although Marcus has the inside line and late on the brakes looks to have defended that position, but Keith comes across unsighted onto the apex, causing them both to spin, and Darren sweeps through to take the position. Back at the front of the race, Jamie Swan, the leader, sweeps into the pit stop to do his final mandatory pit stop, handing first place over to Darren Rayfield. However, just a few laps later, Darren would do his final mandatory pit stop and rejoin the circuit in second place, just a handful of seconds behind new leader Jamie Swan. Despite the pressure from Darren Rayfield, Jamie Swan would hang on for yet another brilliant victory. Darren Rayfield would come home second, with Marcus Neal rounding off the podium. In fourth place was Martin Propp, followed by Darren Hunter in fifth, and new boy Ricky Mack in sixth. Tor-Arne Martinsson would be seventh, followed by Peter Robinson in eighth, Keith Denton in ninth, Martin Bjorkvik in 10th, and Mike Bergeron rounding off in 11th position. Round 4 now, and we head off to beautiful northern Italy and in the shadow of the Alps, the Monza circuit. On the front row we have Mike Bergeron and Martin Bjorkvik, followed by Keith Denton and Peter Robinson. Behind them, Tor-Arne Martinsson with Ricky Mack next to him. Next up, Darren Hunter and Martin Propp, Marcus Neal, Darren Rayfield, and on the back row we have Jamie Swan and Rink Visser. And despite having pole position, Mike drops back at the green light as Martin Bjorkvik makes one of his trademark getaways. However, in the background, I think Peter Robinson must have pissed Darren Hunter off and gives him a little elbow to the ribs, sending him from one side of the track to the other, amazingly missing everybody apart from the unfortunate Jamie Swan, who spins and finds himself at the rear. Into the first chicane now, and Bjorkvik gets through cleanly, while everyone else takes the opportunity to give Mike Bergeron a little slap before going on their merry way. Satisfied now that Mike had been sufficiently beaten up, and we head off to the second chicane, and Darren Hunter puts a great move in on Martin Propp, but no, he's gone straight across at the chicane, so we'll obviously back off and give that position back. No, he's going to cheat and stay ahead of the pack. Still on lap 1 and coming into the second Lesmo, Martin Prop puts a move on Marcus Neal, who cuts across the front and the pair of them spin. Marcus Neal damaged and in the gravel. Martin Prop, I think, managed to carry on. Darren Hunter is also over on the grass. I think that's probably him realising he needed to do the right thing and give that spot back. Peter Robinson's bonnet looking a little bit second-hand. I can only assume that's from having bounced off every wall available on the pit straight. Still out in front, we have Martin Bjorkvik coming under serious pressure from Darren Rayfield, who shows him a nose coming into the second chicane. Thinks better off it, but that was enough to force Martin to run slightly wide, giving Darren much better drive on the exit, coming up into Lesmo 1. And sure enough, Darren's got the gap and sweeps round to take the lead of the race. And in the battle for 7th place, Darren Hunter passes Tor, who jinks to the right, sending Darren onto the grass and spinning out of control as Tor comes back through. Thankfully, Darren's a master at recovering from these positions without causing any unnecessary damage to the car. Oh well. While all that was going on, Bjorkvik, Bergeron and Robinson were having their own little battle as Robinson straight lines the chicane and finds himself in between Mike Bergeron and Martin Bjorkvik as they come up to the first Lesmo. On the exit, Mike runs wide, which spins the car across the track and launches him into Martin, causing significant damage to both cars. And Peter Robinson manages to escape any damage. Marcus Neal there just squeezing through, and Mike looks like he's retiring the car. Thankfully, after a long spell in the pits, Mike was able to return to the circuit, only to be hounded by a fast-charging Darren Hunter coming into the second chicane, and Mike decides just to park it on the apex, which is completely baffling to me. Only Mike will be able to explain what his thought process was there, but thankfully, no harm done. Up at the front, Darren Rayfield swings into the pit lane to serve one of his mandatory pit stops, handing the race lead over to Marcus Neal. And from P2, Rink Visser also decides to serve his mandatory pit stop, allowing Darren Rayfield to regain that position on track. Still looking for a more creative way to race around Monza, Peter Robinson decides to ignore the tarmac altogether and heads to the grass verge to carve out his own version of the racetrack. From the lead of the race, Marcus Neal swerves into pit lane to serve one of his mandatory stops and takes on some fuel, but doesn't elect to switch to newer tyres, a decision which will prove to pay dividends later in the race as Darren Rayfield screams past to reclaim the lead. Following another round of pit stops and a recovering Jamie Swan, who is also carrying 80 kilograms of success ballast, finds himself in third position behind Marcus Neal and being chased by a very determined Rink Visser in fourth place. Meanwhile, heading down towards the Parabolica, we have Ricky Mack in the Lexus running a very strong 7th position and quickly chasing Peter Robinson ahead. However, it appears Ricky was basically running on fumes and he dives into the pit lane with flames shooting from the exhaust to serve one of his mandatory pit stops and refill the tank for the rest of the race. Also turning into pit lane is our race leader Darren Rayfield, who serves the last of his 3 mandatory pit stops, promoting Marcus Neal back into first place and Jamie Swan second. However, they each have 1 pit stop remaining to serve. A little further back we find Keith the Hoff Denton out for one of his evening gentle cruises as he winds his way through the beautiful Monza circuit peacefully, blissfully, all alone in P7, it would seem. Slightly less calm is race leader Marcus Neal as he serves his final pit stop, as Jamie Swan emerges from the parabolica to retake the lead of the race. Neil's objective is to rejoin the circuit in second position ahead of Darren Rayfield, knowing that Jamie Swan has one more mandatory pit stop to serve. Just one lap later and Jamie Swan does come into the pits to serve his final mandatory stop. So Marcus Neil will jump back into the lead of the race, with Darren Rayfield picking up second. On the penultimate lap, and whilst running on very old tyres, Rick Visser sets the fastest lap of the race whilst running fourth, holding off Martin Propp, who was in fifth position. So after 30 laps, it is Marcus Neil that sees the checkered flag first to pick up his second win of the season. Darren Rayfield comes home in second place, and the podium is rounded off by Jamie Swan. However, the action didn't stop there. To celebrate his second place finish, Darren Rayfield decided to put his Audi into reverse and attempt to drive the circuit using only his rear view mirror. Sadly, the stewards didn't take particularly kindly to this and disqualified Darren from the race. Shortly after, however, the decision was made by the race director to reverse that decision and reinstate Darren Rayfield's second place. So here are the race results in full. With the win, we have Marcus Neil, followed by Darren Rayfield in second and Jamie Swan in third. Fourth place is Rink Visser, with Martin Propp in fifth. Next up, we have Darren Hunter in sixth, followed by Ricky McGough, Keith Denton and Peter Robinson. Next up, Martin Bjorkvik, Mike Bergeron, and finally Tor Arne Martinussen.
Aha! Right. Let's try this again. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another stream from the Tickle Pickle, and we are back at the Riilo Racing League round 5 from ZANDVOORT. Just doing practice at the moment. We've got 12 minutes, 46 seconds left. I've done 4 laps and eaten through my tyres in those 4 laps. That included a very slow lap where I had a bit of an off. I'm trying to get the setup as neutral as I can possibly get it to minimise the need to change tyres too many times. I'd be amazed if I'm able to get it to the point that I did in Monza, where I was able to stay with one set of tyres all the way through. But if I can get it down to just one tyre change, I'll be relatively happy. Anyway, so like I say, this is round 5. It's I'll bring up the table so you can see what's going on. What we got? What am I looking at? That's the little one. Where's the full one? So you can see it properly. There we go. Right, so I am currently leading the way by 7 points from Jamie Swan. Darren Rayfield on 66. And Darren Rayfield doesn't look like he's here tonight, which is fine, because obviously only your best 7 results are going to be taken to count as points towards the overall standings. So it's not actually that big a deal. You can miss 3 races and not be penalised at all for it. It's a difficult track, so I mean, at the moment this timetable's showing I'm slightly quicker than Jamie, but I don't know what setup he's running. He is Mr. Consistent when it comes to these races, unless he has an internet disconnect. So obviously that is where my main focus is going to be, is trying to keep Jamie behind me, or at least minimise any damage, because I'll be honest, as well as eating through tyres, I'm really struggling to consistently put laps together. I could do one good one followed by a bin it lap, and that pattern just continues. Right, let's get rid of that. Anyway, cheers. Proper beer tonight. Well, I say proper. It actually tastes a bit pissy after like a Leffe or something, but it's still, you know, it's cold, it's beer, and I need it in this room, which is very hot. I could show you the starting grid for tonight as well, couldn't I? Or can I? Let me have a look. Oh, there we go. Right. So it's reverse grid based on last week's performances. We've got what looks like a very small field tonight. So we are missing pole man Tor Arne Martinussen, who I believe is away, as is Mike Bergeron, who would have been second. Martin Bjorkvik isn't there either. Peter Robinson is, so he's effectively on pole, followed by Keith Denton. And Ricky Mack is not here, so then Darren Hunter moves up a spot. Then Martin Prop, who is here. Rink Visser is not here, he's having a COVID jab. Good on you, man, I hope you're feeling good. Then Jamie Swan, Darren Rayfield, and myself. Now, Jamie Swan and I should be carrying 90 kilos of ballast. And as you can see from that screen, it's showing the handicap as 30 kilos. I typed in to add 90 and it told me it's added 90. But it's displaying us both as only having 30. I can't do any more than that, I'm afraid. So I'm hoping it's just like a glitch on the display and we are both carrying 90 kilograms. If Darren Rayfield does turn up, he's got 70 kilograms to carry. Other than that, everyone else is ballast free. Right. I hope you like my little roundup. I'm going to upload that as a separate video anyway. I was thinking I probably should have saved it until after this race, so that it was like a halfway point roundup. It doesn't make much sense that I've done it after 4 races. But the original plan was to have done it after 3, so it's like a third-ish wave. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Right, let's get out and do a couple more laps. I just made one tiny tweak to my setup, so see if that's done anything. Oh, my tyres have got really cold while I've been sitting there. Yeah, the
exit's clear. Push.
key word for me has been neutrality. Is that a real word? If not, it's bloody cool. I've just made it up. Neutrality or neutralism in my setup. I don't want understeer, I don't want oversteer. I normally prefer a bit of oversteer, but it's not good for tyres. So I just want a nicely planted, very neutrally balanced car for this race. I'm unlikely to break any records.
Green flag sector 3.
But it gives me a much better chance of only needing to do the 3 mandatory fuel stops and not any additional ones. I can help that with driving style as well. Again, it's something I was concentrating on in Monza. I managed to get the car so flat in Monza, but I've not managed it in previous races. If I can get the car, well, I'm not fiddling around anymore, but look at that. Well, actually my tyres are really cold, but I can't fiddle around anymore. I've run out of time and I don't really know which direction to go in. I've done everything I can think of, so it's going to be down to my driving style to try and eke out as much as I can, specifically from the left hand pair of tyres. I've not checked the challenge server for a little while, so I was second to Ricky Mack, not Ricky Mack, Kiki Mack, his son, Ricky Mack's son, by 4/100ths of a second. And then Darren Rayfield, I think, had jumped into 3rd place this morning. But I've not checked it since, so I'm going to assume that's how it finished. So well done, Kiki, on winning the weekly challenge around this bloody horrible circuit. I say horrible, it's a bit like Bathurst in that Bathurst. If you get it right, it's incredibly satisfying. It's just, you'll get it right once for every 20 times you get it wrong. It's so hard to find a comfortable rhythm.
Sector 1 time was good.
Tempted to whack a little bit more rear wing on. Hey, Mr. Mac. I think that's him telling us where he is. I'll read it in a sec. Whatever the reason, man, you never need to explain. Life comes first. Oh man, he's only just got home from work, I presume. Yeah, put your feet up, mate. Enjoy your
Sector
tea.
3 is 1.2, off the pace.
And
Okay, Marcus, 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes left.
congratulate your son on winning the weekly challenge, or at least I think he did. And then you can just watch the stream and laugh at all of us trying to make tyres work for 60 minutes around this track.
Sector 1 time's okay.
I'm trying to read that while I was driving, but your kids called you in the middle of practice, as Darren. Oh.
Slap will be invalidated. Watch the track limits.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the worst you could do is 6, which is a decent haul of points. Only 6 of us. Oh, man. What has been proven to be the case, actually, particularly since we started doing the practice servers, using the next week's race venue and settings, is how much closer everybody's getting in time, which is amazing to see. And I think we will also, by the end of this season, which obviously got another 5 races after this one, consistency levels and kind of knowing when to make a move, when not to, when to get out of the way with a lapping car, when not to, all those sort of things are getting better and better each week as well. So I'm really excited with the idea of doing a second season where everybody will be competing with each other. I'll try and throw a few sort of banana skin type events into the second season as well, just to mix things up a little bit, you know.
Sector 1 is quick.
Way! Catch that, I'm a freaking genius. Oh, I nearly did. Oh! I nearly did, and then it ended up being
Stay
horrible.
sharp.
I think I'm going to have to watch a replay of that. That was quite impressive. We've got 2 minutes of practice left. Right, here we go. So the back's coming round. Back's going round. Back's going right round. I think I've caught it. No, and then I overreact. Ooh, I just hit that little bit of concrete sticking out. Nice. Right. Right. I really wanted to put more of a season together. Oh, mate. The second season will start, I'm hoping, pretty quickly after the end of the first. So if you're unable to make every race in this one, it really doesn't matter. This was very much a beginner league. As I mentioned, we're all coming from completely different places in terms of experience and sort of previous, even if you haven't got recent experience. I did this when I was younger, so I had loads of experience from many moons ago, which kind of comes back to you. So it definitely is an advantage. So I'm hoping we can, as soon as this one's done, obviously if I manage to somehow win it, I'm going to celebrate as though I've literally just won the World Cup of everything. But for all intents and purposes, it's kind of like, get this one, this is a bit of a feeler, see where everyone is, get it out of the way, and then we'll take it a bit more seriously for the next one, make it slightly bigger, mix things up a little bit. Obviously weather, we've not thrown weather into this other than temperatures. That's something we need to throw in. I'm not saying that hasn't been thought about for the remaining 5 races in this league, but certainly season 2 I'm predicting to be a lot more competitive and yeah, just switch things about a little bit, which could be exciting. So don't anyone worry about missing any races. It's, you know, like I say, this is like a feeder league. Ouch. Yeah, indeed. That was bloody horrible, wasn't it? It just came to a very sudden stop. About 51G, I'm guessing, based on recent things I've seen, and I'm just making comparisons. That looked very similar to a recent 51G crash I saw, which was caused by a knobhead. That one was also caused by a knobhead, being me. I don't know what that noise was. Did you see a funny noise? I think it's my neighbours. Right, okay, here we go. Session starts in 1:48, 3 mandatory stops. Let's make sure I've got my setup loaded. Right, but make sure, starting on tyre set 20, staying on tyre set 20. So at the moment, I'm not planning a tyre change. I'm trying to split the fuel into 2. Actually, that doesn't look like enough. It's my neighbours, isn't it? I think that's my neighbours at the far end of their garden. I'm going to go and shut the door in a minute. It might get even more toasty, but hey ho. Is that enough? Anyway, fuel I'm not going to worry about too much. I'll try and work that out on the fly. Martin Bjorvik, evening, just got home. I'm sorry for not being able to mess things up this week. Oh, mate, Martin, you need to watch the little highlights video that was at the beginning of the stream. I'm uploading it as a separate thing, but you feature quite heavily in it. Let's just say that. In a good way, I think. Oh, I don't want to go on tyre 20 because they've got a lot of wear. Right, okay, so let's change this to 21. Okay. I think I'm all right for fuel. Drive. Oh, I'm not going to have a chance to go and close my door. Never mind. Right. Last bit of... where's Heineken from? Because that's where this is from. I mentioned it in last night's stream as well. Just because I'm fascinated by the fact that it's not Mexican in any way.
Good luck, everyone.
Good luck, guys. Have a good one. Yeah, we did have a new sign up as well.
Temp is 30 Celsius. All right, Marcus,
Adam.
stay calm, focus.
It's telling me to keep right, which is weird. Okay, so I'm starting last, obviously. But yeah, we did have a new sign up called Adam, but obviously he's not managed to make it either. But it's no worries. Like I say, only your top 7 count anyway. So I'm going to get a DQ if Jamie doesn't come past me. I need to be behind Jamie.
Let's go.
Left side.
Here we go. Go. Stop waffling for a moment.
Car on your left side. Still there. You're clear on the left. Car on your left. He's still with you. Clear on the left.
Whoa, someone's gone round. I think it's the prop monster. Whoa!
Yellow flag. Green flag, you're clear. Robinson is leading the race.
Oh,
What did I say about a nice neutral setup and wanting to add a load of rear wing? Probably should have done. I'm wondering if Jamie Swan's going to dive into the pits here, do what he did in round 1, I think it was. He just got himself out of any traffic for an undercut. The pit lane here is horrible. Is he going in? He's going in, isn't he? Yes, he is. I should have got in after him. That would have just scuppered his ideas.
Denton is now leading.
Keith is in the lead. Peter's gone deep. He's coming back on.
Left
though.
side. Left side's clear.
Whoa! That was close with Sneaky Pete. Or Creepy Pete, rather. I think Jamie had a good idea. I bet he only had like 2 laps of fuel in as well to start the race. Ah, sorry Darren. Sorry dude.
Car left. You are clear on the left.
I was not expecting braking there. It's not. That doesn't excuse it because I should be aware of what's going on in front of me. But I'm kind of, yeah, I kind of went in at the speed I'm used to doing. Which was daft. I did. I just Bjorn-Vic Darren.
Well done, Marcus. This is great. Come on, keep nailing those exits. P2.
That kind of beautifully segues me into something I was going to mention as well, is that if we could work out a suitable sort of review system, we would do penalties for that sort of stuff as well. Because obviously, we had to work out which way Keith was going to bounce then. Obviously because Darren was just minding his own business there and has been set back 8 seconds because of it. Through no fault of his own. So I should be penalised for that. But at the moment, because of the varying levels of ability and experience and speed, there are more crashes than you can count. Let's be honest. So it's almost impossible to review every single incident and apply blame. And there's certainly never anything deliberate or malicious. It's just sort of lapses in concentration or just getting sort of caught out by a change in conditions or something like that.
0.9. You're now in the lead.
I'll try and get on with this now, otherwise Jamie's going to walk away with it. Oh, that's Mike ahead of me. I didn't think Mike was here. Must have arrived very late.
Guy on your left. You're clear on the left.
Cheers, Mike.
Sector 2 is yellow. Sector 2 is clear. Yellow flag in Sector 2.
Darren Rayfield's here. What? How did I not spot all of this?
Green flag, sector 2.
Oh, I can't apply Darren's ballast. Unless that was the plan. Cheers, mate. I wonder if we should make these half an hour later as well, because it does seem touch and go for a lot of people getting in from work and whatnot.
Okay, Marcus, we'll need to pit for fuel. 27 minutes into the race.
Car
Gone for the
right.
inside.
Clear on the
And
right.
that himself.
The gap to Robinson behind is increasing. It's now 7.1.
Had to get out of that. Bloody hell. It's just a mess at the moment. Oh, Darren's gone round. I wonder if he's been caught out by bad tyres as well. It's just so inconsistent. Even like one part of the lap to the next seems to feel completely different. Maybe it's a bit psychological and I'm just being oversensitive to these things now, but it just feels really problematic on this course. Don't know what sort of pace Jamie Swan's doing, but it's going to be better than mine. Yeah, Jamie's only 32 seconds behind me, having done a pit stop.
That lap time was 1:40.36. Sector 1 is clear.
Come on. Definitely gripping the wheel too tight as well. It's aching my right wrist. I feel this because I'm sort of gripping hold of it.
You're leading. Okay, Marcus, you've got half your fuel left. The gap to Robinson behind is now 10 seconds.
James in the pits again. Thank you, Darren. You'll be back past me again in a minute.
Robinson behind is pitting.
Right, Peter Robinson from second place. It's boxed. Oh, Mike's out. I can't read that properly at the moment. I'll have a check in a minute. I'm going to come in and do a little splash and dash, I think.
Look out for the pit speed limit. Okay, Marcus, we expect there'll be no traffic on exit. When we exit the pits, we should be in P4, a few seconds behind Robinson.
I'm going to do repairs. Haven't got time for that. Oh, I might be a bit short. I was a bit short. Not a great stop, that one.
Your exit's clear. Don't cross the white line.
Darren Hunter's in third. Keith in second. I really hope Darren wasn't too
Yellow flag.
penalised time-wise and damage-wise from me shunting him. Oh. Something's gone horribly wrong.
Denton is hitting from position 3. It looks like he'll come out just behind you. Green flag, you're clear.
Whoa!
Yellow flag.
Don't know who that was. Jamie, I think.
Green flag.
Oh, sounds like there's a...
What else do you think?
Yellow flag, stay sharp.
I can't see you coming, can I?
Oh, sounds like there was contact with a back marker.
Green flag, all clear.
Whoa!
He's on your left. Be on the left.
That was frightening. Martin going in the pits.
Right
Yes, I
side.
think he is.
Right side clear.
Ooh, that was a squeaky bum moment.
You're in the lead.
Very late on the brakes, therefore didn't get even within walking distance of the apex. Don't really know what's happening in the race now because I can't see Jamie's name up there, so just concentrate, Jesus. So I don't know if he's had a technical problem or if he's quit.
Okay, Marcus, 10 minutes of fuel remaining.
I've got a feeling prior to whatever just happened, he'd had another incident because I'd looked like I'd made up a lot of time. I don't know. I'm guessing this.
Keep digging. This isn't over yet. You're now in the lead.
I think the running order is myself, Darren Hunter, looks like Peter Robinson. I'm trying to work it out on pit stops as well. So Martin Prop's only got one left. Yeah, I've got two left. Darren's got two left. I couldn't see Peter's there. What's he got? Yeah, Peter's got two left. Keith's got two left. Martin Prop and Darren Rayfield have only got one left to do. I think I'm a lap ahead. In fact, I must be a lap ahead of Martin at least.
We estimate you've got 5 minutes of fuel remaining.
Where's the danger? Can't see it on my tracker. So it's just around this corner. He's back up to speed now anyway, whoever that is. Is that Keith? Yeah, there's the Hoff. Oh, spot on,
Car
Keith.
left side's clear.
Alright Marcus, very little fuel left. Hit
That
this
is
lap, in
spot
this
on
lap.
behaviour of blue flags. And I don't mean to say that in a kind of patronising way. Just obviously we've had a few issues recently. But Keith didn't try to jump out the way on the bends, because that can often cause more damage than good. Wait till we got to that main straight, kept a steady line, and then just eased really gently when I was getting closer to him, and I was able to just drift past. Absolutely perfect. I do sound really condescending when I say it, I don't know. I honestly don't mean for it to sound like that. It's just I'm horrendous when I'm getting lapped. I see someone coming up in my mirrors and I just panic, and then I have no idea what the best thing to do is. Or not that, that's not the best thing to do in any situation. Keith's followed me off. Bloody hell. This has been a scrappy, scruffy, messy race. I kind of predicted it. There's just no consistency. It's bloody impossible. Oh, I need to come in the end of this lap, don't I? I've got 24 seconds on Darren. I'm going to put tyres on, you know.
Watch your speed. Okay Marcus, expect traffic on exit. On exit we should be in position 2, just behind P5.
Tyres and fuel. Oh, that's too far this time. I've changed my pressures very slightly. Oh, right, Darren will come past me. And his stop should be better than mine. Damn, I should have done the repairs as well, because I don't think that affects the time. Oh, no, it does. It does. What I'm talking about. Yeah, Darren will come past me, Darren Hunter. I'm hoping with the fresher tyres, I can make that ground back up. So he should only be a handful of seconds ahead after his pit stop.
His exit's clear.
Oh, shit. Oh, no. I was going to say, it's not... I'm reading the wrong bit of the screen. I was thinking that's not counted down as one of my mandatory stops. But it has. I was reading the wrong thing. It's saying I've done 2 out of 3, not I have 2 out of 3 left to do. Okay, so Darren is 35 seconds ahead of me. If I can put up some decent laps, I can get back in front when he does his pit stop. I'm sure of it. Not sure exactly what a pit stop takes on this pit lane, but Brands Hatch I know is about 35 seconds from entry to exit plus whatever stationary time. I'm going to have to start lapping better though to try and pull some of that time back, that's for sure.
Green flag sector 1. All right, Marcus, we're halfway home. Should be about 29 minutes of fuel left.
That's right, I'll put in a couple of litres when I come in for my final stop, so I have to anyway. Hopefully I've judged fuel correctly as well. I got that right once in this race. Right, I stayed ahead of Martin Prott. Well, I think he's a lap down anyway. Peter Robinson. Oh, I can't. Let's not do that. Let's actually drive. I got that right once yet. Not so much that part actually, it's more this part. Jesus Christ.
The leader, Hunter, is pitting.
Oh, here we go. Darren's in. Probably a good time to do it because he must know that I'm struggling putting in horrendous lap times. Right, I will come past him. By the looks of things.
The lap time was at 1:40.88.
So we're down to 5. Dan Rayfield's out as well.
You're in the lead.
I just read a comment, less off-road I think it said, and immediately whilst reading that comment just overshot the bend. Oh, let's off-road, yeah. Yeah, this has been not a very good advertisement for ACC, for the Riilo Racing League, for my ability behind the wheel. It's just an absolute mess. Looking forward to seeing what this circuit throws up for Formula 1 next week, is it? I think it is the next race. But I'm not sure I'll be rushing back here in a hurry to race it myself. Yeah, it is. Everybody said it during the week in the challenge. It's just been very hard to find any kind of rhythm and consistency. So you're right, Martin. It's just it's a bloody nightmare of a course. As I mentioned at the beginning, if you do get a good lap in, it's the most satisfying thing. But you have to put up with so many crap laps before you do a decent one. So Keith looks like he's the only one out of sync pit stop wise. Everyone else has got one to do. Keith has two. Currently running third.
Okay, Marcus, don't think about the lap times. Just hit each and every apex. You're leading.
Fastest lap so far, 139.4. I think we were doing 130. 6s or was it 7s? Mid 36s, I think, in the challenge. I know I've got ballast, and the car was set up to be very kind on tyres, but that hasn't proven to work, so I've just slowed myself down basically. I say the setup hasn't proven to be successful. It hasn't died yet. Like, with more aggressive racy setups, it literally became undrivable after 3 or 4 laps. This one, it stayed more consistent. Consistently sluggish and a bit weird, but a bit more predictable now, later on in the race actually, than it was at the beginning, which is strange. I know I only changed these tyres a few laps ago, but since we've settled into the race, the tyres aren't the biggest.
You're in the lead.
That's not nice. Way. It's that inside curb. You clip that doing the right hander. You clip that curb on the inside. It just shoots you across onto the grass. Then you lose all braking and steering ability. I'm lucky not to end up in the wall there.
This is good. Keep banging out them lap times. That's 20 minutes to go. You're now in the lead.
It's Peter ahead of me. Peter must have had an incident or something, because for the whole of my first stint, I think he wasn't any more than about 10 or 11 seconds off the back of me. We're doing a very similar pace. Oh, Peter, dude, that's brilliant. Oh, cheers, Martin. Yeah, I feel like I've sort of... I knew I shouldn't have said anything. I was going to say, I feel like I've kind of got to grips with it a little bit now and starting to put in a few back-to-back half-decent laps. The pedal set I have is the Fanatec Club Sport V3s, I think is the full name. And I cannot emphasise enough that if you are going to upgrade anything ever, maybe it's on a par with having a really solid frame and seat and mount for your steering wheel, but nah, still probably more important than that is a decent pedal set for consistency, without a doubt. When I first got them, funnily enough, I was actually slightly slower, not massively, but in out and out lap times. Took me a long time to get back to the speed that I was able to get with just the standard Logitech pedals. But what I found immediately was that I was more consistent with my laps, more reactive to just any strange behaviour by either my car or a car around me. Is just able to, all through the pedals, be a lot more controlled and reactive. And I'm obviously not really displayed in this particular video, but they are the best upgrade you can make.
You're in the
absolutely
lead.
certain.
The track temperature's falling. It's now 36.
I mean, I only fitted them once I got this rig as well, this frame. So it's hard to say how much difference it would have made in my old rig. In fact, I probably couldn't have even mounted them in my old rig. I think every time I pushed the pedals, they're a lot stiffer. I'd have been pushing them off the wobbly old rig. But yeah,
The guy behind has just
they
done
are,
138.74.
you know, they're not cheap. Who's just done a 138.74? Darren. Nice. Yeah, they're not cheap, but if you're if you're getting to the point where anything feels like it needs upgrading, and you're, it's something you're going to end up doing eventually. Pedals. I think the Thrustmaster load cell pedals are very good as well, and considerably cheaper. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember exactly what the model is, but it's a load cell pedal that's about £100 cheaper for the set than the Fanatec ones. In fact, Fanatec themselves have just made
Okay,
well,
Marcus.
also make the cheaper version of their load cell
15 minutes to go.
pedals called the CSL load cell pedal, I think it is. And
140,
even that, I think you'd get a lot of benefits again, mainly through consistency and just overall feel rather than out-and-out speed over something like the standard Logitech G29 pedals. I have actually no idea if anything I've been talking about for the last couple of minutes made any sense at all, because I'm kind of in a bit of my own little world. I can't really hear myself. I'm trying to multitask, obviously, and I watched the video back, and if all that made, you know, was understandable and actually made sense, I'll be well impressed with myself. Normally I struggle with that even if I'm not doing anything else, but trying to hold down a half decent race time as well was, yeah, it was impressive, if I say so myself. I can't read that as well though. I can see the lol. I can't read the one before it. Anything that's more than like 2 or 3 words, I need to wait until I'm in the pits, really. Unless there are a couple of words that jump out and I can sort of see them in my peripheral, and I'm like, okay, I know what this is, what this question is. Oh, we're all in order on the track. Oh no, it's because I clicked that button. Right, so it's me, Hunter, Denton, Croc, Robinson. Oh, I changed down a gear too much going into there. We had 8 at one point. Back down to 5, so big points all round. At the moment, it looks like Darren Hunter and Keith Denton will be picking up some ballast for the next race as well. I'll be adding some more, but I can't go over 100 anyway. Maybe we'll try that engine power reduction as well. I don't know if you can do the 2 at the same time. But most of the guys have said they would rather work on us all getting up to the same speed than artificially slowing down.
You've got 10 minutes of fuel remaining.
The guys at the front. Which I completely agree with, obviously. Do you like my t-shirt, by the way? I couldn't wear it and not mention it. This is from that, obviously I've set up the thing so you can just print on demand.
140.40.
Don't have to get a load of stock for any new t-shirt design, so just send the design, upload it, and anyone can go and get it if they want. So I just had this sample sent through. I'm well pleased with it. It's got the little WKG Motorsport on the back of the neck as well, logo. But this might be the last time I wear it, because it's going to stink after tonight, because I'm sweating like so I'm riding up Mont Ventoux.
Hunter behind is pitting now.
Oh, Darren's in for his last stop. Need tips and tricks? You're speaking to the wrong bloke. I've always said, well, I'm more than happy to share like car setups and things. But the trouble with that, as I've experienced myself, is everybody has their own style of driving and their own preferences. And the reason I know that it doesn't necessarily work is when I first started doing this,
Okay, Marcus, 10 minutes
first
to
thing
go.
I did
That's
was
10
look
minutes
up,
left.
I don't know, someone that had done a 149 around Monza when I couldn't crack the 150s or something. Watch their video, see their setup, load an identical setup, and then just find I just couldn't drive it and couldn't even get close to my own best time. So that's kind of pointless, but I'm happy to do it. I think we did, unless I'm mistaken, I think we've set up a section on the Discord for anybody to upload their setup. So I'd literally, like for this one, I'd call it Ferrari ZANDVOORT 60-minute free pit stop race. Safe, because it's set up to be a safe tyre sensitive setup. So just a brief description of what it is, which car it's for, which circuit, and anyone can jump in and try it, even if they don't like it, I suppose. Tips and tricks, without wanting to sound all holier than thou, there is literally one, and it is just lap. Just keep going, and do it one circuit at a time. It gets annoying, but obviously the way everybody's closed up,
You're leading.
is because we've been committed to doing a whole weekly challenge and an eco race and then the main league race all on one circuit. So as much as you might be sick of the sight of a particular track, which I definitely am this one, I didn't know this track other than in the F1 game. I'd never driven this before, but the amount of laps, we're now, all of us, quite competitive with guys that have been doing it for years, just because it's been intense practice on one circuit. That's exactly what you've got to do. I know Peter Robinson, I was chatting to him before I came on the live stream. He does hundreds of laps on these challenge servers, and it's really starting to show. Like I said, we were 10 seconds apart at the beginning of this race. And he's, excuse me, he's new to his setup, he's new to the game, he's new to the circuit, but just having spent a few hours during the week going round and round and round the same circuit, trying to understand things that you can improve on the setup for yourself, even really subtle things. If it's just one minor change, you notice that you can't put the power on as early as you like, or everyone around you is doing, then maybe you need to soften up the rear anti-roll bar or something like that. But I'm not going to start trying to sound like I know the technicalities of it, because it is very much just trial and error for me. That's the only way I can do a car setup. And then it's just a case of exactly what I say. Make a little tweak, go out, just do lap after lap after lap. It gets annoying, gets boring, but eventually it means you can have more fun in the races.
Marcus,
because
we
you just make
estimate you've
yourself
got
more
5 minutes of
competitive.
fuel remaining.
I better come and do my last stop. I could so easily then have waffled all the way to the end of this race. I think I've got... No, I would have run out of fuel anyway. I was going to say, if I'd had enough fuel to get to the end... That's a big old oversteer. If I'd had enough fuel to get to the end, I could quite easily have just waffled my way to the end of the race then, and then got penalised for not...
What's your speed limit in the pits? We don't expect any traffic on the pit exit. When we leave the pits, we think we'll be in P1.
This is probably too much. But I'm going to do it anyway. Right, that looks good. That looks good. They're changing tyres! No! And they're changing back to the shit tyres I was on at the beginning of the race. Don't listen to any advice I have ever given or will ever give ever again in Assetto Corsa, because I have just blown the win, I think. Where's Darren? Where is Darren Hunter?
Pit exit's clear. Push.
He's at the other end of the straight, so I'm still in the lead, but they've put crappy old tyres on. Luckily, it should only be a couple of laps. He's coming round that same hairpin now. Ah! They're cold versions of those crappy tyres. Trouble is, if
Come on,
Darren's
Marcus.
listening
Just
or
5 minutes
watching the
left.
live
Hold
stream,
your nerve. We can
he'll
win
know
this.
this as well. I mean, he owes me one, let's be honest. That little tick box is the case of ticking a box that might have cost me this race. Untick the change tyres box.
Hunter is getting closer. The
Oh,
gap's
there
now
he is.
6.1.
6 seconds! Jesus. It's going to be this and one more, or this and two more? I'm hoping one more, 'cause he's taken another 7/10 out of me. It's in my head as well that these tyres are old, because they can't be that bad. I've got it in my head now that they've basically just put on like old tractor tyres that have been laying around in a field, decomposing. Alright, they're coming up to temperature now, they feel better. They're fine, these tyres are good to go. That's all I need to convince myself of. Darren's down less than 5 seconds. I just need to stabilise that gap. Remember I made that video about pit stops and how to make sure you don't change tyres, or if you do, make sure they're new tyres and blah blah blah. I think I'm going to watch that after this. 4.8.
Okay, Marcus, you've got 10 minutes of fuel remaining.
Once again, I've overfueled.
Just 2 minutes left. 2 minutes to go.
That is the least of my worries. Shit, it's going to be one more after this, isn't it? I've just got to keep it together, man. I've kind of equaled out the pace a little bit now. Alright. Got this under control for the moment. I don't have to take any major risks. Final lap.
You're leading.
Just don't bin it. That's all I have to do now. I don't know why I said that out loud. That was a bit daft. Oh, what's Darren done? seconds. Drop back about 3 seconds. I'm going to have a guess that overshot the hairpin. Yes, baby! Win number 3. Come on! Well done, Darren. Gave me a proper run for my money that time. That was excellent. And everyone, actually. The pace was much closer. Oh, I was about to do a donut. I'd say he owed me that one.
The bodywork's in pretty bad shape. We might need to fix that.
I think you owed me that nudge, Darren.
No, I think I owed you that before the finish, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant. I am sorry about that, man. I literally just went in as though there was no one in front of me, just taking my normal speed.
That's fine. I'm surprised I ended up in second anyway.
No, you did really well. I thought you were going to have me at the end because they've put old tyres back on my car on my final pit stop.
I'm bloody knackered.
Oh, can't get it. There we go, here we go. Right, it's going to go down a little bit of a whack. Oh, engine's gone. Oh, he's gone. Still didn't manage to get my...
Nice one, Marcus. Great win. You deserved that today.
Ooh, so look, technically, Jamie and Darren and Mike get points. Next week, we are on Spa, I think is next, which is just a beauty of a track. Let's just give Keith a little nudge to say hello. Oh, 3 wins. 3 wins, 2 third places, I think, is my record so far. I will be the first to admit there have been a couple with mitigating circumstances. One of them, Jamie Swan, had a kind of dropout internet connection. And the other one, well, this one today, I don't know where I would have been with Jamie, but I think it was going to be close. And he obviously had problems with somebody and left. So I don't know what that was all about. I will try and find out. Yeah, well, look at this, Darren. It says I have 30 kilograms of ballast, and it said Jamie has 30 as well. I added 90 to both of us. In fact, I wonder if I can still do it. If I bring...
Nice one, guys.
Ooh. Well done, Peter. Good race, man.
Oh, I'm glad that's over.
Yeah, I don't think I ever want to race that circuit again.
30 minutes is enough on that.
Right, look. If I do this, ballast, my car... Let's try 100, see what happens with that. Right, it says I've assigned 100 kilograms to car 111. Then we go to this. Still got 30 kilograms. And I did the same with Jamie's as well. So I don't know if this is just a thingy. The only thing I could say about the whether or not there was the right amount of ballast is I couldn't get close to the times we were doing in the same conditions during the challenge. And some of those I was doing with heavy fuel as well. So I still couldn't get close to those times. So maybe. But I don't know. The reality is that was my speed. I wasn't going any faster, whatever the ballast was. So Oh, replay. Didn't save it. Oh, I'm so thankful I was shown how to do the longer auto replays, because I'd have missed most races. Cheers, Rick. I'm not though. Well, Darren, I could do one lap fast and then a couple of shit ones. I just don't like it. I don't like it. So look out for next season to being multiple runnings of Monza, probably multiple Zolders, no Zandvoort. What else do I and don't I like? I do like Mount Panorama, Bathurst, but I'll reserve my judgment on that until after we do our 2.4 hours at the weekend. Right, let's get. I don't know what I want to see. I'll have a proper look at what I did to Darren, or try and work it so that we're looking at what he did to me. Somehow he is responsible for that that incident. Was it right at the beginning? Right, I've already got damage on the front, so it must have been earlier than that. Oh, that was... Okay, yeah, so that was Jamie going into the pits at the end of the first lap. So I'm still last. Oh, yeah. Look, that was close. I forgot about that, Peter. That was close. Him coming back on and literally giving my bumper a little bit of a love bite. Right, and in a minute, I'm going to really embarrass myself. Was it 16 seconds you had? Oh, man. I only had like 3 or 4. 3, I think. All right, here we go. Oh. Right, come on, let's try and find a reason why that wasn't all my fault. It's going to be hard. I'm going to have to go to the special camera view. You know, the one thing I can try and use is Darren's braking point and braking power. So I want to try and look at when his brake lights come on from here. Because if he's brake tested me, I mean, yeah, look, his brake lights are already on. He's brake testing me. I'm going to the stewards about that. That's disgusting behaviour. How can you behave like that in such a dangerous sport? See, look, even Keith wasn't braking. It's all on you. You don't think you slowed more than... No, you didn't. I went in there how I would normally go in there, which obviously you can't do when you've got a car in front of you. That's the simple facts. I'm joking, Darren. I hope that came across. I really wasn't being serious. I am absolutely kidding. I wish I wasn't, because it sours my brilliant victory, the fact that I took off what was clearly my closest rivalry. And as recent Formula One events would tell you, that it's just not on to take out the only person that is a genuine threat to you in a race. Just don't do it. It's just sad. You know, if you can't beat them, don't pump them off. Just accept second, go home and be proud of where you came. That's my opinion. Anyway, okay, so Peter, this is what I mean. Peter and I were like pretty bloody locked together for quite a while. We don't have to watch all of this in slow motion, do we? Yeah, Keith was leading for a while, and I think he takes himself out. Oh, that camera does my eyes in. Oh, does Peter send one on me here? Right. No, right, okay, that is what I should have done. Perfect driving. Peter's right up my jacksie and brakes earlier going into a bend because of that. I was right up Darren's jacksie and braked where I would normally brake. So, yeah, that's on me. As if you didn't know. I'm loath to do it, but do we want to... No, I'm not going to, because it might just incite like disputes or whatever. We'll deal privately with whatever was going on with Jamie Swan, and I think it was Martin. I think they had a coming together. Yeah, whinging all the way. Yeah, I know. I'm turning into the equivalent of a 7-time world champion. Bad sportsmanship, taking out my nearest rival in a race, then whinging about how crap my car is at the same time as setting, I think, was my fastest lap of the race. That's actually a fact. I got into the 148s the only time whilst I was whinging about my car. Do it. This is peer pressure. Where's it going to be? I mean, is it going to be this lap? Or is it going to be... Okay. I already know what's happening here. Oh, Hunter, don't. Oh, if anything was going to start an argument, it was that right there. So we will agree to disagree. And like you say, we'll say no more on the matter. Probably. Right, I can already see what's happening here. Can you tell what it is yet? Right. Oh no, why has it come back to me? Oh, it's because Jamie wasn't on after that point. Right, hang on. Right, let's just go from here. Is it here? Right, I'm just going to be quiet for a second and see what happens. I think I know. It might actually be a little bit further around the lap. Yellow flag, that's a little indicator of what I think we're about to see. Oh! Oh! Do you know what? You know, I'm learning all the cool lingo these days. Like, what was the one I learned today? Sydney Morning Herald. SMH. What was the other one? MOO. I know that. GG. This, to me, looks possibly like netcode, which is the new thing I've been learning about. Oh, why not? Right, hang on. Let's try and get it to exactly the point of contact. Or what I'm suggesting is not contact. I don't think there's contact. Right. Investigator. Investigator mode. I'm going full cruiser on this. Oh my god, I've got to learn how to control this camera better. Are we going to pass? Should we pass judgment before we see the forensic evidence of whether there actually was contact? I mean, to be fair, it's rarely a good idea to be reversing across the track anyway. But this section of track is obviously the fastest part of the track, or one of them. And I don't believe Martin would have had any idea how quickly Jamie would have been approaching this. All right, that was the worst angle to do that from. Let's go back to normal speed. Need to be round this side more. All right, I reckon this. Let's come over this way just a tad. Oh, slow my mouse down. All right, here we go. There's probably a button I could have just gone to front view and that would have been better. Right, hang on. I screwed up once and it wrecked my tyres and I was all over the place for a number of laps. SMH, yeah, what was that? Oh, it was slap Mr. Hunter or something like that. Yeah, I mean, I've spoken about tyres too much already, but yeah, any really big spins that are going to put flat spots and really overheat the tyres, you're going to struggle to recover from that. Peter Robinson, same here. Lose concentration once and it's 4 bad laps. Yep, that is how this game works. we're going super slow on this. Why can I not? Okay. No. Right, here's Martin. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, I mean, if there was contact, it was the bottom of his diffuser. Oh, I can't be precise enough. Oh. Has it happened yet? No. Right. Let's come over this way. Even more. Actually, I'll tell you what. This must make fascinating viewing. I wish I had a streamer friend like me. Here we go. I'm thinking this will be the view. All right, here we go. Let's quickly see what Martin. Here we go. All right, that's not the view at all, but from that view, it looked like nothing. Okay, so now, what view should we try next? All right, not that one. That didn't tell us anything. I've watched other streamers do this, and they're so slick and fast at like getting absolutely spot on where they want to see a camera. I've wasted almost the amount of time of a race fanning about with this now. Right, here we go. This is it, people. Let's wait till we see Martin, then I'm going to slow this right down. You did not account for what, Keith? Sorry, what have I lost the train of the conversation? Right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Right, there is Mr. Prop. Let's get that thing out of the way. Here we go. Right, he's creeping back. He's creeping back. Right, there is no contact there. Case closed. Investigation over. Martin gets a slap on the wrist for reversing. That's never a good idea. In fact, Mike, sorry, dude, I'm going to throw you under the bus. You did a very similar thing last week, which scared the living shite out of me. In fact, I might show it in a minute. It was quite funny after the event. So yeah, reversing, unless you can see from the tracker, mini map, there is no one anywhere near, then it's never a good idea. Two things in Martin's defence. One, that's netcode. He didn't actually touch him, but that's more a consequence of luck than judgment, I would say. Two, that's a very fast part of the track, so it may well be that Jamie appeared to be quite a long way away on that map, but actually would have been approaching a serious speed. Yeah, I ran a full map in this one. Since you mentioned it a couple of races ago, it does make a big difference. Although, again, there's certain parts of the course where you still can't really judge the approach speed. But if we were doing like a penalty system, similar to other recent penalties that really don't fit the crime and the consequences, I would give like a 10-second penalty, when in reality it should have been something much, much more severe, given that it took Jamie out of the race. It's similar to other things. I'm not saying anything about anything else, but similar to other things you might or might not have seen recently in motorsport. That's all I'm saying, Darren. Yeah, see, this is where I'm going to have to disagree with you, Rick, because I used to run it in segment mode. But I agree with Darren. Full map actually is more helpful, because in segment mode, this could be a prime example of that. Say Martin was running in segment mode, Jamie could have been off his map completely, and then appear very quickly. Darren's unsubscribed. I didn't even say I was. What do you? I wasn't even talking about anything that to offend or upset you, Darren. It was this. It was one of Rick's sidecar races that I was watching recently, where he was, he blatantly wiped someone out and got a 10-second penalty for it. When clearly he wrecked the other guy, nearly killed the other guy. This is Rick in his sidecar. I'm talking about nothing else. He hospitalised the guy. And anyway, let's leave Rick alone. I hope you're pleased with yourself, Rick. I hope you're happy with yourself, Rick, is what I should say there. Sorry for anyone that has no idea what the hell I'm talking about, but I'm hoping you can make the connection. So anyway, what I was saying was a partial map. Jamie coming at great speed would only have appeared on that map very late in the day. I don't know what you're talking about, Darren. Just don't. I held my hands up immediately. I apologized to you during the race on Discord. I knew it was my fault, despite some weird braking pattern that was going on there. I don't even know what that was about. But I 100% took responsibility for that incident. And I even informed my pit crew right towards the end. I've got an idea. Whack on the shitty old tyres that I've already taken off. For this last stint, Darren will feel good about himself because he'll be catching up with me. That's like payback for having taken him out of the race earlier on. Yeah, Christian and Helmet. Yeah, Toto will be eavesdropping on that call anyway if you bring those two. We could have a penalty league for these. With the most penalties, I guess we would see some other leaders of that league. I'm delighted that you volunteered for that, Martin, because you would be doing well, my friend. I mean, it's known as being Bjorkvikt. Even tonight, when I hit Darren Hunter, he wasn't nailed in the arse. He was Bjorkvikt in the arse. It just instantly, that's what came to me. Do you want to see another example of reversing across the track on a high-speed circuit, everybody? Hit that like button. Let's get up to 4 likes and I will show you a clip of another really bad bit of reversing. Anyway, race director's final decision. Martin, don't reverse on the track and use full map. Jamie, yes, you have a right to be pissed off because your race was wrecked by it. There does appear to be a netcode issue at play here. And obviously it was a part of the track where I'm guessing this, but Martin may well have thought he had plenty of time and underestimated the speed of that section of the course. But either way, I'm really sorry for Jamie that his race was wrecked by it. That's the outcome of it, and that's really sad. But I hope it's all just... it was at the time, I think there was an overflow of emotions, which can happen in these races. It's not like Zwift where you can still get pissed off because you're sweating and physically working hard. But with this, it's... Yeah, I like to think I'm pretty easygoing with these kind of things and don't get wound up particularly. But I have come close a few times, Martin. Everyone. Right, anyway, let's... Hey, look, I got up to 3 likes. We'll settle for 3. That'll do. Anyway, I kind of enjoyed that race. I haven't lingered as much on the fact that I just won that race as much as we should. Right, replays automatically saved because I definitely would have forgotten to save it. Oh, maybe it's not. Maybe it isn't the normal replays. Oh yeah, it's the Monza one, wasn't it? Right, let's hope I can find this nice and quickly. Mike Bergeron, a man who needs no introduction. It's likely caused by hitting a curb. What was the spin? Anyway, I'm reading a message from Mike, which is quite timely because that is what I'm about to show. I haven't got my notepad out here because I know what lap that is that I need to show. Let's go for this one. I'm fed up I've got this livery now in this race because it's the only one where I'm not running the WKG livery. It could have been this lap and we could have already gone past it because that looked like Are we going to see Mike Bergeron come into shot any time? No. Okay, was it the lap before? Right, it's not here. Is that a Ascari? Which is there, isn't it? Am I right in thinking that's a Ascari? So it wasn't there. So next lap. I've got damage. How have I got damage though? Oh, I know why. Because I hit Martin Prop. Right, it's not that lap. Oh, this was close, I think. Oh no, wasn't here. I think it's the next lap. Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah, you might be right, because obviously he swerved to avoid Martin. But it's just interesting that it showed damage on that side of the car as he went past, as though there was contact. But there clearly actually wasn't any contact. It's just those margins within online games where it's just slightly out of sync. If my understanding is correct, that's what netcode is. It's where it's not the sort of physical boundaries around an object are slightly out of skew with where it actually appears on screen. That sounded very impressive, my explanation of that, I thought. Come on, where is this terrifying Ascari experience? I'm sure it happened by now. Here it is, here it is, here it is! Oh, right, so I want to watch it from my cockpit so you know exactly what I was dealing with. So obviously I'm leading the race. Everything's going really nicely because I was keeping my tyres in check. The car felt beautiful. Actually, maybe I wasn't leading the race at this point, but I'd had an incident with Martin, but got back in, done a pit stop, everything's feeling good. All going swimmingly. Come around Ascari, sweep it in, all nice. See a yellow flag out there. What could that be? Oh, it's alright, he's over there. Whoa, no, he's not. That shit me up. But again, I would have been, if you were running a partial map, I would have been out of it. Oh my god, Emma's just frightened the shit out of me. Hang on 1 second, I've got to pause that. Oh my god, Emma was just standing in the doorway, absolutely frightened the crap out of me. Yes?
You told me to put batteries in the remote.
Yeah.
The one for upstairs hasn't got any in.
No, that's the one that needs them.
What did I put them in then?
The one that already had them?
No, because they're these ones. That's got Kodak ones in.
Whichever one already had batteries in, those batteries are fine. So the one that didn't have batteries in...
But you said the remote's in wherever, and I must have found it and put them in.
You brought it... Yeah, you brought that downstairs.
This?
The other day, you brought the one from the bedroom, which had no batteries in, downstairs, and must have tried to use it, and left it downstairs. With it not working. Sorry, everyone. I'm live to the world, babe. There are 5 people watching.
I need to watch my programme.
Get the app on your phone if you can't get it working. But anyway, what, have you just thrown away the batteries from the other remote?
No, the other remote hasn't got these batteries in.
One has got no batteries in at all. One has got batteries in.
Yes.
Right, the one with batteries in is working fine.
Did I put the batteries then? I put them in a remote, but which one? But it
Well,
was
the one that's got batteries in.
No, because it's not the same batteries, you donut.
Sorry, people. This is... I haven't
They're
even got any,
Kodak
like...
batteries in the other remote, right? But the ones that I got are these ones, which I've got one left. So where the heck... What did I put the other ones in? Because I put them in a remote.
What, a Sky remote?
Yeah. What, is it the one that's you could talk into?
Well, maybe. Go and
Where
have a
is
look.
it?
I don't know.
Oh.
Well, you're the one that supposedly put batteries in it, so you should know where it is. Oh. Right. Sorry, everyone. First world problems. Too many... No. Peter. Oh, my God, she's got... Emma. Peter said it might be in your dildo. I think she's out of earshot. I think. Right, what was going on? What happened there? Have I just rewound it, or I'm just carrying on? Yeah. So anyway, that was I'd quite like to see that again from Mike's point of view, because I didn't actually see what happened to him, but I think he must have clipped a curb. No, that's going back. So this is this. Yeah, Mike. Okay, here we go. So let's see it from outboard. I think he just got oversteer on the way out and went across. Oh no, sorry, Rick. Yeah, so he touched the gravel, he's got across. And any second now. Oh, because that's shite, that's annoying. It might not have actually been that close. From my cockpit, it seemed very close. Actually, we should watch it from Mike's cockpit. That would have been funny. Anyway, so the moral of the story, kids, don't reverse across the track. Mike, if you're still here, can you tell us, did you have full or partial map, track map on? And if you only had partial, could you not see me coming on the map? Don't make it up now as an excuse as to why you reversed across the track. But if I just genuinely want to know if that would be a hindrance in those situations, because you can't see cars that are further than a certain distance away. You can't see them coming. Alright, anyway, other than showing you my magnificent victory, I think that's all I have to do tonight. Other than I've now got to go and find some batteries. I've still got like a fair bit of beer left as well. Right, anyway, thank you all again. Thank you for racing. Yeah, it's a shame we had a smaller field, but like I say, it's no biggie. This is, as I mentioned, very much an experimental league. So I expect to have bigger, more consistent fields, more mixed up types of races for the next one, and it should be good. I'm going to try and drag over some more of Rick and Kiki's. Pardon me. Cool, you're getting a mixture of everything tonight. Yeah, some of the guys from Celtic Bromance over as well when we start the next league. So I need to make it sweet. Well, the track map that you see while you're driving, can you see an outline of the entire circuit or just a small part? Yeah, Darren. Obviously that goes without saying. If they look, I do this with everyone. Obviously, I missed Adam when he requested joining, but I tend to click on their recent race history, and if they look far too good for us, then we just don't want you. Let's be honest. We don't want you here. I don't mean to be discriminatory, but you're not welcome here. Go and race with the other aliens. We are the just below average race team. That's who we want. Right, okay. You see a small part. Right. Yeah, I mean, it's whatever you prefer and what you're used to, but it is a good idea, particularly as, again, going back to the fact that we're all different levels and there are more spins and crashes in our races than a lot of races, and that might be the case for the rest of this season. So it might be an idea to, in your HUD settings, as Peter Robinson quite rightly pointed out, you go and change the circuit map to full. That way, you get an overview of exactly where everybody is anywhere on the circuit on your screen. Adam is about Rick's level. Perfect. That's what we want. Some slowies. Only winding you up, Rick. That's spot on. That throws him right into the middle of the pack, right into the mix, and yeah, that would be brilliant. So you did message me why Adam couldn't make it. I think. Let me just scroll up just to see if it was because I missed sending him some information or something like that. Someone did a video about doing pit stops the other week. Do you want the link? It's one freaking tick box. At least should have checked it. Right, that's the off-road dig. Kiki is the guy to ask about that. What was? Oh, but he was a steward from. Oh yes, mate, right, I will be picking Kiki's brains. Not that I need him to get involved, because I can imagine it's very time consuming. But if he's able to give me just some pointers on what I should be looking out for. Because funnily enough, there was an incident, I think where Kiki actually sort of incriminated himself in one of our previous races, where he sort of blamed himself for an incident. Whereas on my first view of it, Kiki was a completely innocent bystander. And then he kind of explained what he thought he had done wrong, and it actually made sense. Not that I'm not trying to throw Kiki under the bus here, but bloody hell. But he sort of opened my eyes to what he possibly should have done differently in that particular scenario, and why it wasn't a clear cut the other guys to blame situation. So I will probably pick his brains at some point prior to setting up the second season, because I think we're getting to the point where we can be a little bit more responsible for wrecking other people's races. That sounded like a dig, and it really wasn't, because I think there are loads of mitigating circumstances to what happened tonight. Kiki is going well. He only did 11 laps as he was doing stints to sort tyre pressures. I was hoping he could make it tonight. Oh, it would have been good to have him along tonight. Yeah, Kiki's he flies. He had the right idea. He mentioned it in a message in the group that it was putting like 3 laps worth of fuel, go out, outlap, cane it for a couple of laps, just to keep the tyres in the sweet spot, because anything beyond that and you're just sort of chasing time that probably wasn't there. So yeah, he had the right idea for that. That was the weekly challenge we're talking about. Right, so anyway, that's what that was. Nice one, Mike. Again, it might not be for everybody. I found it a little bit hard to get used to changing it to a full map, because I quite liked having the more detail of how far somebody was away from me. But I think tonight's incident kind of proves that it's a very useful thing. Darren H, I'll have to watch it back. What are you going to have to watch back? The incident that shall not be mentioned. Or what have I missed here? Pit stop video. It could be anything. Right, thank you everybody. I said goodbye ages ago, didn't I? So I'll quickly do it again. Oops, actually no, one last thing again. Just want to check this. Did it go up? No. How does that not go up? I didn't. Oh, because Darren brake tested me. Without that contact, I think I'd be in the 80s. Oh, I did mess up a pit stop. Yeah, my final pit stop could have been very costly, but I got away with it. Let's just say that. Right. Yeah, go and watch it back. Anybody that missed the beginning of it with the little roundup of the first four races, I have been in the other room that is uploading itself. In fact, it might already have automatically gone live if it's finished uploading. The internet in the house is horrendous, but you can watch that video separately, so you don't have to watch this whole live stream. But it's just a very quick overview of what's happened in the first 4 rounds. Thank you, everyone. Oh, hang on. I said a word. You need to turn off swear word blocking. I can't see. Would it not show me? So does it delete the post completely if there's a swear word in there? And I've got swear word blocking. I didn't know I had that on. Shall I try it? Hang on. Maybe I'm the only one that can do it then, because that looks like it's worked for me. That's probably just got my channel demonetized or something. I'll look into that then, Darren, because everybody likes a good swear word. Within reason. I'm waffling now. Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your night. It's later than I thought, 9:20. Thank you for racing. Thank you for watching. The big one on, is it Saturday or Sunday? I can't remember. 2.4 hours of Bathurst. Sure to be an absolute smash fest, but luckily a long enough race that you should be able to overcome it with pit stops, etc. Fingers crossed. We're going to look like we've got a decent turnout for that. I'm going to try and entice a few more. It should be fun and an interesting test of our concentration levels over that period of time. So anyway, thank you, everybody. You can't say cack or kick. It's Sunday. Thanks, Darren. Darren, do you want to just take over this? Because everybody keeps implying that I'm kind of like the boss of WKG Motorsport, but I'm the worst boss, as you've experienced in the cycling group. This really shouldn't be left. I shouldn't be given any kind of responsibility. So, although you guys do just bail me out, which is quite good. Right, that really is it. Thanks, everyone. Catch you later. Yeah, bye.